Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the First Look LA 2014, presented by the Los Angeles Venture Association. I have with me David Wade of Pollen-Tech, Pollen hyphen Tech, Tech. It's a private company. David, welcome to SNNLive.
Shelley, thank you for having me.
It's good to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's talk about pollen, and let's talk about Pollen-Tech. Please give us a brief overview, if you would.
Well, as you know from the media, there's a big problem with bees dying off, and that's been happening since about 2004. We initially went about going to solve that problem, and we've created a system or a methodology of mechanically pollinating the crops that you and I eat. That's about 1/3 of everything that the world eats. And in the process, we've now got the process so it's more effective and efficient than bees.
And you don't sting, do you?
No, we don't sting.
So now let's really focus on this. I mean, bee pollen is responsible in growth of vegetables, crops, fruit. I mean, it really needs, I mean, it's universally needed.
It is. It's about $270 billion worldwide. 1/3 of everything the human race eats is pollinated by bees and other insects.
I don't know if they found the reason why bees are dying off. I don't know if they're ever going to find it out. But you're saying to me that it, you know, I'm sorry for the bees, but it really someday they might have to be replaced anyway, and you seem to have made a solution for that problem. Am I correct?
Well, we started out to be the backup plan, and we think that we are, but we've got to the point now where we are more effective and efficient than the bees, and we coexist with the bees. So we don't want farmers to get rid of the bees if they have enough bees, but like here in California with almonds, they have to import 1.6 million hives of bees just to pollinate the almonds, let alone the cherries and everything else that's going on. And so our process can help those bees so they're not so overworked.
That's an incredible cottage industry in and of itself. Am I correct?
Yes, it is. There are bee growers, there are bee keepers that start in Southern California and work their way all the way up to Canada. But that disrupts patterns for bees. It creates additional disease vectors, sharing of mites, things like that. So we feel that our process will also help with mitigating risks that farmers have.
So there's also a health benefit here.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, not only are farmers excited about our crop yield increases, which drops to their bottom line, but it also mitigates a lot of risks.
Now, the pollen depositing into different plants is based on a bee's sex drive. Am I correct?
Well, actually, the bee is looking for food. It's going out and getting nectar from the flower, and it rubs up against the pollen, and then that pollen gets transferred to the stigma of the flower. So it's helping with the birds and the bees, so to speak, of the flower of the plant.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it R-rated or better, but if you want to go down that path. But in reality, how does this pollen become distributed? We know how the bees do it, but how does your product do it?
Well, we are using 100% natural pollen that we gather from the various plants or crops that we're pollinating, but then we have a mechanical process that encapsulates the pollen in a pollen slurry that we've patented that protects it, and then we charge it electrostatically, which helps it get to the stigma of the flower where it needs to be to fertilize that flower and create the fruit or the crop. And it's the protecting of the pollen and the helping it and the distribution mechanisms that we've patented.
So let me ask you a question. We know how the bee gets it in there. He hits the target dead on. Mm-hmm. Do you have to hit the same target that the bee does?
Well, that's one of the exciting parts of our process. We electrostatically charge that pollen granule, and then kind of like lint to a suit that you and I have to worry about on the camera. We don't have to actually hit the stigma. We just need to get it within about 4 to 6 inches, and the stigma is grounded, and it will be attracted like that lint to the suit to the stigma. So it's a very efficient process.
Throw a number at me. How big is this market for Pollen-Tech?
Well, we think that this is a disruptive technology, that it's got global implications, billions of dollars.
So, David, what's your background?
Well, I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur and have invested in various startups and helped get them off the ground. And I was an MBA student at WP Carey at ASU with my daughter. I think they were the first father and daughter group ever to go together.
And she got out and you didn't.
No, actually, I beat her out by about 2 seconds because they handed me my diploma before hers. But in that process, I found out about Pollen-Tech, which had won a grant from the Edson Foundation. It's part of ASU's incubator space. And ASU has been phenomenal in helping us get launched and making connections like here at Lava and things like that. So we've been very grateful for ASU, and we office there at the ASU Skysong building.
And one more time, your website is?
It's www.pollen-tech.com.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive. We're at the First Look LA 2014, presented by the Los Angeles Venture Association. David, thanks for coming on to SNNLive.
Thank you, Shelley. It's a privilege.
Good to have you.